Let's get cracking!
Welcome back, everybody, here to your coverage of the D2CL. I am Toby1 bringing you game number 2 and our final game of the night for the D2CL. That's right, it's short yet sweet. And we are going into the game right now without any further ado. Team Empire coming in game number 1 and taking what, well, some people may not have seen as a surprise, but when you're sitting with all outer towers down within the space of 15 minutes, you would think you're in trouble. You would think you're in trouble, but a couple of great team fights from Team Empire. They managed to snag themselves at Roshan, which means that was the second Roshan as well. And when the Aegis, the Immortal fight for the Morphling in the bottom lane, that was where momentum completely shifted. Like, that was completely. There was a couple of things before that point, but it was the complete shift I was searching for, and that was that moment. Now, it's a whole different kettle of fish. Game number 2 will begin up. We'll have Viper and Death Prophet being banned out here by Team Empire. So Death Prophet this time around. And Lycan and Tinker also being removed by Jotum. No surprise there whatsoever either. Jakiro first pick with the Bane. Also not really much of a surprise for virtus.pro. Jotum really does favor that Jakiro over a lot of other heroes. They like to run him as a core for BZZ. They like to also run him as a core in aggro tri-lanes. And the Bane is meant to be a hero which allows you to set up for that one. So Team Empire in the next set will 100% be banning out the Mirana. The other choice they will probably be looking under is what else would they consider to ban out? Skywrath Mage will be one of those heroes I consider, but now with a Batrider pickup, you've already got the Bane, but you could also attempt to do something like a Rubik. But their other option is to just run something which just lanes up against the Batrider, and they're good for that. So Tidehunter might be the... Okay, yeah, Bristleback could also be a choice.
virtus.pro's turn to ban.
So Team Empire, yeah, that's also because of the strat the VP used to run about a month ago, which was the aggro tri-lane, or it could be aggro tri-lane or defensive lane, it wouldn't really matter. But it would be Bristleback gaining farm, and then Jakiro +1 would end up forcing out the towers. So you could have an Enigma on the safe, Enigma inside the jungle with Jakiro on the safe lane. You force the tier 1 tower in the bottom lane, and that would force a rotation from the enemy supports. And then the Bristleback got his space, would win the lane, and with the high physical DPS he's able to achieve with his warpath, he's just able to melt through the tier 1 tower. So that's kind of what they're banning out against here. And they do take out the Faceless Void as well. So Team Empire, I think, are just trying to cover other bases just in case. But that's the only thing I'd really, yeah. That's the only reason why I'd flag this Faceless Void ban.
10 seconds remaining.
So Team Empire. Fourth ban up, you've already taken out the Earthshaker. Virtus.pro, you've already taken out the Earthshaker. You just want to remove the Mirana. He does have first pickup as well. So if VP want to go for that combination, Team Empire gave it to him. They gave it fully to them if they want to go for this aggro lane with the Bane Mirana as well as Jakiro together. And then it will kill off whoever they find. Not to mention the roaming then is really strong for the two supports. They take out the Naga Siren.
Turn to pick.
Who's been featuring a couple of times as a support. It's been in the hands of Solo. Actually, Team Empire is the only team that I know of at the moment that is running the Naga support. But a Wisp pickup by virtus.pro, I'm not as certain about this anymore. Like, it's still a Jakiro core, so the Mirana support can still be there.
10 seconds
but the fact
remaining.
they've picked up the Wisp here, I don't know if this is meant to be a block pick or not, or if they actually want to have a certain combo work with this. The problem I'm seeing, and the reason why like the Wisp is making me question what's going to happen here, is mainly because like even if you pick, you can't pick a support Mirana in this because you got a Wisp. You're not running a Colt Wisp in this game. Yeah, I'm not certain. I'm there's nothing that makes sense with this. Not 100%. And I think that's what Mag's also is like. He's just like whatever. How is this meant to work? Who are you doing as a combo here? Like, that's kind of where my question is really mainly being asked. Like, what is the Wisp meant to couple with? It could be any hero. It could be a Wisp Tiny combination. And then they run that as a dual lane mid. Jakiro goes safe lane, Bane supporting him there, and then get themselves a normal off laner. That could work, but I don't know. Maybe I was just... My mind is too focused on VP running what I know they're good at, which is pushing power. Like, you get that Pugner behind you with the Jakiro. Like, they could do a dual lane Pugner as well as Wisp together. And then run the Bane Marauder off lane, and then Jakiro safe lane solo up against the Batrider. These are things which are all possible. Just, I wish I'd be a little bit more dynamic with that. Enigma picked up now from Team Empire. So, if you don't know what your enemy's going to do, you just play safe. You get a Batrider for Mag on the offlane, you got an Enigma in the jungle, you got a Razor, can be played by both Silent as well as by Resolution in that middle lane. So you just wait and see what the lanes are going to be. The Dragon Knight pick up from virtus.pro, so no problem. You can run that Razor in the middle lane, because that's where the DK will be. So, highly survivable DK. Just not really feeling the magic right now from the VP lineup. Where Team Empire, like, you got Initiation, you got really good AoE clearance, as well as control during the team fights coming out from the Razor. The late game push potential initiation is also great from Empire. Like, Blink into Lasso is one of the greatest things you can have in the late game, because it just changes the fights completely. And BKBs don't protect you. So even if you get it off, you can find yourself on the wrong side of the fence. And then you've also got Black Hole on top of that. So you got two things that will go through the BKB. Technically three, because you got the Static Link as well. So you get a hero trapped in the Lasso or in the Black Hole. And Raze is able to just sit there and drain out the life points while drain out the damage while pumping the damage into that hero which he's draining. So, yeah. And Team Empire, okay, they're going to force the issue even more. So they run a safe lane Shadow Shaman. This kind of screws up also the aggressiveness if VP were attempting it. Just a simple Ether Shock and some quick pulls on the top lane by Shadow Shaman, and your top lane's going to be pretty well secure. Especially if you're running a Razor up there. There's going to be no one from the VP lineup that could try and kill him off. You try and go for the slow. If that Static Link is up before you get the Nightmare off, you got to walk out before you can walk back in again.
Empire's turn to ban.
And if Team Empire just get one hero that's able to completely win a lane up against a DK, or stay alive up on that top lane, they're good to go here. I see no problems with this Team Empire lineup. The Mirana will be banned out right now by VP.
Pro's turn to
the hero which I was really hoping they would pick up as their third selection. My hope was not rewarded. Instead, we got a Wisp support. And virtus.pro. Now, final selection. What's going to be the last hero for your lanes? You're going up against a lot of lockdown, a lot of pushing power, and your current counter push is Spirit Balls, Breathe Fire, as well as, well, technically Liquid Fire a little bit, as well as Dual Breath. A Macro Fire. The cooldown's low enough that I'm going to count it as counter push.
Reserve time.
Yeah, so that's what you got. But most of those abilities don't affect Mass Serpent Wards. In fact, every single one of those abilities does not affect Mass Serpent Wards. So they're going to have enough damage they can get in there and get rid of those wards. Now, Jakiro with some good farm is capable of doing that, because he's rather tanky, so he can stay in range of them to farm them up. But that's not really writing home a hell of a lot about how great Jakiro is when you can say, well, he'd be good at clearing up Mass Serpent Wards. Because the push from the tower on the towers is nice. Like, that's the DK and the Jakiro together. And it looks like they're going to run the Jakiro safe lane. So they'll try and force the issue on the bottom lane. And Darkseer will just do what he can up on the top lane. Now, if Team Empire were to get really cheeky with this, they'll actually push Resolution into the middle lane as the Batrider. Run a Shadow Shaman, Razor +1 on an aggro tri-lane, and leave the Enigma up against the Darkseer. I know it sounds weird, but Enigma is actually an insanely good laner. And up against the Darkseer, conversions are the greatest thing you can have up against those Iron Shells. Because you can keep your distance and you get rid of them. But it looks like Team Empire, they'll go with the Gyrocopter. So it will remain a support Enigma. And the Gyrocopter for Silent. So one of his core heroes puts Razor in towards the middle lane. So they'll just try and get the Shackles into a Rocket Barrage against the Darkseer. They could also potentially put some higher levels up into that rocket of gyros, but the way Silent normally likes to play is max up more into the rocket barrage as well as the flat cannon, and they just clean off every single bit of lane. And this is also going to be another one of those problems. Surge and the tether speed is going to be the only thing that would really help you move, but when you throw down Midnight Pulse, you have a gyro call down, you get an ether shock, you're getting shackled, hexed, lassoed, sticky napalmed, like black holed. There's so many different control abilities coming out right now. And what have you got to stop? Like, what have you even got to stop the black hole? You got Ice Path and you got Bane's Nightmare or Fiend's Grip. Dragon Talon technically from the DK, but it's such point blank range, you'll have to be in Dragon Form every single time he wants to even consider cancelling that black hole of Always Want to Fly. And even if they cancel that and they use those abilities to stop him, the call down and the sticky napalm is still going to slow you down. So VP, if they're gonna try and fight these fights, they can't be running themselves away. If they do that, then Team Empire will slow them and chase them, which means the chasing won't last for long. I'm interested to see just how well VP can do in the laning phase, because that's where their strength comes in. Darkseer on lane is still very, very good. He'll be going up against a Batrider, so Batrider's going to be a little bit more like aware of where heroes are coming in from the sides, because if you get the Iron Shell burn damage consistently into you as well, and the only levels is a Batrider, that will be enough to bring you down. So he must make sure his positioning is always up, which means Observer Wards are already one on him with the boots as well. He's making sure he's not going to get caught out of position as this Batrider, and a player of Mag's like caliber also should not have a problem. Just want to check this guy out. Look at it, isn't he cute? Obviously, not that great at investments. This guy shouldn't be a banker. It's dropping gold everywhere. Should be like Robin Hood. Robin of Courier. Wow, really? Second time in 48 games the team has been down by 5 towers at 15 minutes. And they've come back to win. Oh, we got to experience something very special then. Alright, so top lane, where we're going to have wards. One ward, all it's really doing is watching rotations and it's also looking down. Doesn't see the rune, but it will watch any rotations that basically come through this area here in lane.
30 seconds to battle.
So up, down, wherever kind of thing. Like anyone that moves through here, that observe ward's watching it. And then this is also the vision that observe ward. So it scouts at anyone coming in through this area. So obviously the tree kind of blocks the vision for it. But yeah, look at the mass ping. So they realized Solo came down. And it's like, yo, guys, this guy wanted somewhere. Which he did. They're guessing this spot or potentially... Well, there's vision on the lane. So they could be guessing either here, here, here. And that's basically it. You wouldn't throw an observer ward up into this part of the lane. There's no point for it. Like, this is probably going to be the ward they consider. But one sentry ward takes care of that. And they just throw it basically there. And that will catch out this observer ward spot. But that's only if they have a sentry. So let's check out our lanes. I said BZZ will be going safe lane. It looks like they're going to mix this up a little bit. And we're going to send the Jakiro to the off lane. Now will allow a hasted Yol Bane to chase up there. And God be in the middle lane up against Resolution. DK versus Razor. Jotum doing his little thing over in the jungle. No actual stacks coming his way just yet. He kind of needs a hero to clean up the creep wave. Oh, to clean up the tree line is the phrase I was searching for. Before he can really like do double stacks and do what it's been favored a couple of times, and it was done by VP yesterday, and that's the pull up to this one. And you can do it with the Wisp, because the tether with the range here is they can attack you and you can do the pull through. Alright, so let's watch our bottom lane too, because I want to see how well Mag is going to be handling this one. The top lane's probably going to be nice and entertaining. That's harassment damage versus harassment damage from range. But it's the Iron Shell versus the Batrider. This is one of those things where Sticky Napalm with a better ability to maneuver here for Mag is probably really going to help him out a lot. But how much is going to help, and how much is going to help Seedoy? Because he can always just surge himself away too. And he came down here to try and just, like, not surge away, but spam Iron Shells. That looks to be his primary goal right now. Get the pull through? He got the pull through. Must have tethered up to his own creeps, and yeah. This completely destroys Resolution's mid lane. Completely. This kind of stuff, it needs to be modified again. So this is impossible. The pulling of creep waves, like everything, all the change logs to come out. Like the way they changed the Earthshaker Fissure, the way it works. Resolution needs... they're not going to get a kill here. They are coming down for the Invis Rune. That's actually more support coming in too. That's Solo. And Resolution, well, he doesn't have a static link, so he knows he can't get the bonus damage to ensure the kill. So it just goes back to middle lane to farm up. But everything which has been done is basically to stop pull points. This camp, to pull up north, still works. So there's one for each side. And then this camp on the bottom, pull down, still works. And if you want to pull it through, you got one option, and you got two options. And up here, you basically got the one option to pull up from this camp. But the Dire side camps are a little bit closer together. A little bit more exposed because of this, but they're a little close together. So one Midnight Pulse in this area, and the Enigma has basically a perfect highway in between the areas. So yeah, you see it right there. Midnight Pulse up, and the conversions move very quickly, where the Radiant side has more protection because they've got this huge rock wall that comes up and a perfect choke point here, which Team Empire can't. Like, if they're going to come through, they're going to get spotted. Now, God's just enjoying soaking the experience here. Nothing more. We're missing from mid, so Jottam is going to get his level 2. Yay! 3 minutes and 30 seconds in, he gets level 2. And God will walk himself away. The Invis was wearing off anyway. Looks like one quick breathe fire to try and steal a little bit. Top lane, BTC, 18 for 6. Up against this Gyro who's got 10 for 1, so silent. Not having the greatest game of his life. I'm still favoring Team Empire's teamfight control. And the amount of money coming into the Enigma is still very, very good. And his progression's going to keep continuing. All 3 camps, back up again. Did you get really lucky too? Yeah, you got Alpha Wolf camps. These things are the best because you can convert the Alpha Wolf themselves. It'll be like going into this camp and able to convert the big Centaur. It just makes your progression through the camps a lot quicker. And you still get some really good money. Nice Ice Path. Got Nightmare available too, but ends up not casting anything. With only Liquid Fire and no Dual Breath, don't really have a way of controlling Solo enough. They'd have enough time to dish out damage to kill him off. Do some harassment damage, but they wanted to do that against the tower anyway. That's what the Liquid Fire is for. So they just try and get BZZ as close to the tower as possible when Liquid Fire is off cooldown. What he's kind of searching for is his level 3 Liquid Fire, because that works so much better. And that's when you actually have to properly push back against a Jakiro who's just been sitting on a lane. God, nice initiation. Started with a breathe fire too. And Jottam, well, he doesn't have spirits, he just has overcharge and resolution. Taking away all the damage. Breathe fire's going to be there though. And that's why VP forced the issue. Resolution might have taken 98 points of damage, but the breathe fire magical damage was still there, and you cannot take him away. You cannot take that away from DK. And now, because they have the dragon form up, they just keep the poison stick going into the tower.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And this is that double dot effect, which Team Empire is going to have a hard time repelling later on. Oh, hello, top lane. Black Hole is available. He doesn't want to use it on Yol, but he's going to, and he actually caught BZZ as well. Silent gets one. He's got Rocket Barrage in 1 second time, but Solo's here underneath it all. And he'll take the last hit. 2 heroes down right now for virtus.pro. And that Black Hole, increase in radius, does some serious work for the Enigma. It's a flat 500 now. Solo, poor man. Gets denied the Invis Rune. Initially that was probably meant more for resolution than for the Shadow Shaman. Even though an Invis Rune on him would allow him to initiate to that mid lane. Or force out some sentry wards at least in some of the lanes from virtus.pro. So Jakiro's back to his farm. BZZ enjoys this build of face boots. Prefers it when he's trying to be a little bit more aggressive in the lane. And zone out heroes. In this scenario though, because of the first blood, it's actually quite difficult. See, that's not enough holes for my liking, Nahaz. Not enough holes. We need more holes. More holes. But that's 1 for this game at least. It's probably also because Enigma being part of the latest games. The pushing power that comes out of him, and normally he's with pushing lineups as well. they just force the lanes out. Like you saw it with Cloud9, where you run like a Luna as well as an Enigma together, and you just melt through towers. And there's very little the enemy can do to stop you.
Denied!
What bait? What bait? I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't know what you're talking about. Silence back to happy farming times. Not as great as BZZ, but not too bad. Hex. Solo. He had no mana left. He just threw a Hex. He wants his arcane boots, which he can't pick up unless he walks to the side shop. But the creep way is not far enough down just yet that he can do such a thing. Well, Enigma's not even... he's not even there. He's back at base right now, regenerating up while his conversions are doing the work of farming for him. But he'll have his TP up. Technically also Mag, not really being stopped on this off lane, sitting at 2.7k net worth against the 3.6k of the Darkseer. Obviously Darkseer's got his own jungle he can really capitalize on. So Darkseer's always got some really good flash farming. Resolution's in trouble here in middle lane. Ping's coming out, and well, Jottam currently tethered to... what the hell is he tethered to? Always when a flight's going to come in, try and get a revenge kill. Not enough damage though, 72 line points away to safety. Seems now Wisps are capable of anchoring themselves to the middle of air. Nice. Very, very nice. I assume it was the creep that just ended up dying. But no, that doesn't work either, because it shouldn't keep the tether up. Always gonna fly. This is a Roshan time now for Empire. We're 9 minutes into the game. He bought a medallion to start with, as well as having a soul ring. So he just smokes up so no observer ward can scout him out. There is an observer ward looking for exactly this. So Always Gonna Fly is going to do a solo Roshan.
Radiant's bottom
all the other lanes have still got every single hero there, so they're not expecting any kind of problems. At the same time, tier 1 tower in the top lane, they're going to have to deny this. One more liquid fire, and the tower would tick out. And that's what BZZ's coming in for. Actually, just sort of liquid fire on the wave. Silent. Maybe he doesn't want to lose this tower. But there's still a level 3 liquid fire, about to be level 4. God, oh, they're coming in. Always Gonna Fly. Surprise is spoiled. Top lane. Shackles are up. They bring down BZZ. The tower, no liquid fire on it, and y'all will die in the tree line. It's like Call Down, Flag Cannon, and Plasma Field did a hell of a lot of work there. And now they'll deny the tower. And now the tier 1 tower middle lane will actually end up being a trade-off. So they kill off the Enigma, they stop the Roshan. So, all in all, I'm going to say VP will be... they'll be happy with this trade. Because they still have a lineup which is meant to be forcing out the towers. The Dragon Form's coming off cooldown now for God. BZZ's here in the middle lane. And even with Firefly, Matt's going to see what happens right now when you add two tick damages into a tower. I saw something very similar the other day, except they were actually using an Ogre Magi to buff up the heroes, not to mention when the dot effects that went onto the towers, they got destroyed. That was a combination with the DK, the Jakiro, the Venomancer, and the Ogre Magi. Fun combo. And they had a Pugner as the last hero. If you're ever looking for a cheese lineup, that's it right there. So here they come again. Liquid Fire, Dragon Tick, and watch the tower just loses life points. Cedo though, initiated on. They got the Darkseer. He's got so many life points. He'll still get the mech off as well. BZZ, the Mass Open Wards go down from Solar, but they just back up. The town's at 150 life points. The Ice Path's going to keep everybody out. And Mag, halfway through his Firefly, he's got Blink Dagger available. With no lasso, he can't really follow up. So Empire forced to deny another tower. There's 2 towers denied within the space of just 1 minute. And the ping's coming out from I believe that's actually virtus.pro that did that ping. Saying, yo guys, last remaining at like tier 1 tower, and we can just push into the tier 2 tower as well. Everyone group up on bottom. And this cuts off Team Empire's easy access into Roshan. Now we've already got a 2-man smoke movement coming out from BZZ and Yol. They got Macropire and Fiend's Grip available. While Wisp is just trying to leech his level 6 out of the mid lane. Wants the creep wave to die as early as possible so it comes back to a safer position for him. Cedoy, no! Jottam will still get the levels. Yeah, there it is. Level 6 is up. So he has to relocate. Bottom lane, Silence out a long way. Start the Fiend Script. Macropire. It's going to burn through the Gyrocopter's life points. God came in as well. But the damage has already been done. And even with those 2 abilities down, VP won't care. The Dragon Form's coming off cooldown in 5 seconds time. And BZZ has 4 points up in Liquid Fire. And this is what VP have been doing time and time again. And here they come again. The tower to get ticked out. Oh, man. And the Dragon Form lasts for so long, too, that you'll just move into the tier 2 tower in the bottom lane as well. Liquid Fire was thrown. It's got such a low cooldown. He doesn't really care at this point. Spamming it on creep waves. And you look towards the tower. The Firefly, a little bit patchy here. We'll mop up the creep wave, but remember, this is the current meta. Damage directly to towers. That's the goal that every team wants to achieve because they don't want to be dealing with the big waves anymore. And what's Empire going to do right now? Throw a call down at them? That's their only real option. Radiant Fortification's going to come. There's a Nightmare and Resolution. There's no TPs coming in, but there's a Relocate, however. And God, Dragon Tail stun. Brains up as well. Always on a fly turning. He's got Black Hole available at the moment. The Relocate, Jottam, he'll have to go back in, well, only a couple of seconds. 2, 1, and now is enough time. Resolution. Jara will get the kill first. It will still be a trade-off, however. A Wisp for a Razor and VP hold their tier 1 tower. And Empire try and force the issue now up against Seedoy. Blinking down, no Lanasu already been used, but with 4 sticky napalms over on Seedoy. Flame Break bouncing him back in range of the Rocket Barrage. Good control by Mag and Silent. Really pushing those heroes to the limit to make sure they can control the Darkseer, who decided to run in a straight line. I thought he might have actually tried to back up and double back through the tree line. The Firefly was wearing off from Mag, so the chase couldn't have lasted forever. Fiend's Grip is back off cooldown again. Relocate. Got another 34 seconds, so they can't just bring help straight away. But BZZ's heading up north right now. Almost finished up his Rod of Owie.
Bottom tower has fallen.
Always on a fly. Almost got the almost got the mech. But flies out a long way here. Conversions disappear, which means Yol can freely move up into the lane. Now the new creep wave will arrive. So I'll flag the fact that Yol is here. BZZ is still a secret. And the TP not being used now. BZZ, whoa, nighttime? Yeah, look at that nighttime vision. So restricted on him. So restricted. So 6-6, 14 minutes into the game. And Solo, Fly, and Mag. He gets himself a 3-man smoke, but Mag, he'll have to TP out and then join the rest of his teammates. While God and Jottam, they're turning to battle up against Silent. Dragon Tail stun. Jottam with the Spirit Balls coming in close. The TP out. They've already used their stun. Seedoy. Close. Close. Vacked it up. Now we see what they were doing with their Mass Serpent wards as well as smoke movement. Didn't matter the fact they caught the extra hero there. It was just the Enigma as well as the Shaman that wanted Roshan. Unfortunately for Always Wanna Fly, he's lost all of his conversions. Either that or he didn't have them from the very start. And this Medallion, well, it's going to make life easier for him now, but Solo and Fly, they're a little bit too low. Solo! Whoa!
Fallen to the dire.
That is too close. Way too close. But they get away with murder. But they're going to lose their bottom tower now. Solo's TPing out. The Enigma, well, the Aegis went to to Solo, the Shadow Shaman.
Are fortified.
Well, the tier 2 tower has fallen now. Getting away with that again probably won't happen. But it was cheeky, but it paid off. It really paid off. Mag. 3 gold.
Top tower is under attack.
Never denied by virtus.pro. Maybe they just forgot about it. Mag just walks in, gets one last hit, and he's good to go. He had an observable in the lane too that gave him all the intel they needed. Jakira's looking for just someone to come to the lane. But no one's here. No one wants to farm it up. The Enigma's coming down now. Not a bad hero to grab. 10 levels worth of experience there. Everyone for Empire is pretty much the same apart from Solo, who's level 8. But he just finished up a Blink Dagger after picking up an Aegis theme model, so he's okay with that. Now, that Observer Ward for the Radiant side. Scouting out the movement. Now, BZZ, Enigma, he's still got this Black Hole, so Fiend's Grip, Yol actually use it and Always Wanna Fly. Nice pick of the target, they back him back into the wall. Silent, good call down though. Catches out 3 heroes holding him away. And he's back up to the high ground. Maybe, they can't go high ground. They can't go high ground. The Relocate was taking Jottam back out of it again. But they're going to move up. They have Dragon Form and they have Liquid Fire. So while they have these 2 abilities, there's no reason why they shouldn't be forcing out towers. There's no fortification available for Team Empire. So they could just force the issue. What the hell is this? Just random Iron Shell. Resolution, Mag. Oh, he jumped in. He jumped in the middle of the ice path. The Rod of Ice being used. That's where the force up's the only thing that actually gave him any kind of momentum back out of here. Now Serpent Ward, solo. Shackle is there. Jot him. He's healing him. Actually, oh, the ice path with the dual breath. The vac from Cedoy again. Their combinations from virtus.pro are really damn good. And well, Jottam arrived at just the right time to make sure God will survive that. His Dragon Form is wearing off. They might just wait until it comes back up again. And then force the issue. Remember, these guys are still fighting. Well, it's solo with an Aegis the Immortal, so they're not really going to be too scared about him. What's he going to do? Come back up and shock you again? Meh. Very situational pickup, Nahaz. Very, very situational pickup. We know the only reason why I grabbed it was because no one else from Team Empire would have got there in time to grab it. Alright, so back to your farming. Stacks for Silent. Still working towards that BKB affair. Still a long way away from it too. Razor doing the same kind of thing, but still no BKBs there. And in the meantime, the tower's getting brought down. Now this feels very similar to our last game, considering we're 18 minutes in. And virtus.pro can still hold most of their towers. And they've taken every other tower apart from the tier 2 tower up on top. So very, very similar. A little bit of liquid fire harassment on Mag. Shouldn't be much more. Actually, then we get with a dual breath. Fiend script. Way! Haha! Oh, okay. Well, force stuff him up the hill. Breathe fire. God just. He's kill securing. But they did bring him down without having to use Dragon Form. Now, Jottam. Where's he relocating back to? They're pinging out the top lane, and that's the reason why. BKB from God. The cooldown's there. Jottam. He's trying to walk his way out of this one. The shock will be there. The Aegis Immortal will be triggered. More supports rotating up the river. That's coming from the Bane. They've asked him to go up through. Oh, wow. Blink. I don't think DK knew he had that. Now the drum charges being triggered off. They'll catch Solo in the tree line. So they'll catch out too. Resolution will TP out. Solo. Oh, the Hex timing would have almost been long enough. But just isn't quite enough. Now the Ice Path on the Silent. They turn the Nightmare off. And with Brain Stamps as well as chip damage. Now bring down Silent. And they've got 3 heroes on the sidelines. Lasso is not on cooldown, but the Dragon Form definitely is. 75 seconds, and God's come down to bottom lane to defend that. But there's no reason why VP can't push top lane. They have a very, very big Jakiro, and they have a Darkseer with a mech and a Blink Dagger. Y'all's just got to stick with him as a little bit of extra insurance. Same with Jottam. His relocates off cooldown in 20 seconds time, so even if he really wants to, he could actually go down and pick up the DK. Batrider jumping on Cedoy. Really difficult target to kill, however. Always want to fly. Malavis done, and he commits the black hole. The only way they can guarantee Cedoy will stay in one place long enough that actually get the kill on him. And the rest of it is pro already backed up. That's why I thought like maybe a Nightmare or a Wisp relocating hero would have been a really nice thing to have. Because then he would have saved his own Darkseer. It looks like they just don't care about it anymore. Because right now the DK is the main man. God's walking around with over 10k net worth. A stat that Nahas is bringing up. Both drums and BKB. Very, very quick timings for DK while still having a lot of money. Hello, middle lane. Macropire, solo, burning down. God, there's your relocate movement in. He did bring the DK the engagement. And now looking for a Dragon Tail stun. Ice Path catches always want to fly. Which means Dragon Tail stun can work. The tether's still there and Jottam realized he has to separate it. The Meg Charge, not enough from the Enigma to stay alive here. And Team Empire on the ropes. This will be a push up high ground. Dragon Form will survive actually just long enough. They'll have to nuke the creep wave, which is about to spawn up. And Mag's actually going to make sure that creep wave never... Oh, actually, no, it runs high. It's too far away. So they can actually still get some poison tick damage into the tower without having the backdoor regeneration kick in. So the tower's still going to drop a little bit. And now they can just push in again, too. Dragon Form, only halfway through its duration. There's a lot of flames on the ground, but because of that, now the timing wears off. And the tower's going to drop to 2/3, if not, yeah, half of its life points with its catapult beating into it, too. One last. Nah, okay, couldn't get the last hit in. So Team Empire have their tier 3 towers on mid and bottom lane sitting at half life. They still haven't lost to Rax yet, which means I'm not going to count them out. They've definitely lost their big advantage in experience with the last couple of engagements. The gold, it's been a little bit topsy-turvy. The fact that actually that advantage is still... It's only 1,000 away of virtus.pro? How much money has Enigma grabbed out of this jungle? Not a lot according to the net worth. 5.7k is his current net worth. I know they had Roshan as well, but to only have like the advantage limited to 750 gold. Like the tower difference is 3 right now, and the kill count's going the way of virtus.pro. Yet somehow that gold is only that. People have really been sacrificing themselves, and I've got a funny feeling Jotam's going to be the man that's saying it was me. Bane as well. 3k. At least Yol's able to pick up a Blink Dagger. He's got 2.4k gold. He might be thinking, well, I'll get a Blink Dagger if I need to, and if not, I'll just get a BKB. There's still, however, like 2 abilities that will stop him from channeling, but at least then he doesn't have to deal with the Shadow Shaman or potential rockets flying at him. It'll have to be a lasso or a black hole to stop his Fiend script. I think Cedo's wanting to have a crack at middle lane. He's got Blink available, but let's keep in the trees for now. BZZ will take up the farm. It looks like he's also going to be building himself into what I would assume to be a Shiva's Guard. It could potentially be an Assault Cuirass as well, because the Shiva's Guard could normally be built up by a Darkseer, but even he's considering going in for now for a BKB, having that Ogre Club already. Smoke movements coming out from virtus.pro. They'll surge towards the bottom tier 1 tower. Look for a kill down there. Shouldn't be a hard thing to achieve with this lineup. Well, Team Empire, well, their goal right now is like they'll have to accept with this push to lose the tier 3 tower. Like, there's no real way they can stop that unless they are the ones to initiate fully. And that means they have to kill off either DK or the Jakiro from the start. It's the only way they'll hold on to their tower. Now, DK already to Dragon Form. So you'll see the tick damage come in. Not to mention Iron Shell damage on him. No one wants to come close on that. And there goes your tower. So fortification is available. They won't use it yet. Because as I said, Team Empire know they will still lose the tier 3 tower. And looks like they're trying to go for a trade-off. Tier 2 tower will die. Relocate's coming in, and Solo trying to be cheeky and will be cheeky. He takes the tier 2 tower for the tier 3 tower trade-off, and then will TP himself away to safety. Should flag the fact that Roshan will spawn up in 30 seconds time. So Team Empire, if they want to go back in for it, they can do so. Jotam just trying to escape. He had to relocate to get somebody back up to that top lane to try and have a crack at Solo. So not only did Solo take a tier 2 tower, but he baited the relocate, which means counter kill from Team Empire. Now Roshan's 10 seconds away. The Fireflies inside the pit, but Team Empire lose the vision. What they do, however, catch up is BZZ. And well, BKB from Resolution means Ice Path won't control him. And that's now going to be Team Empire. Just have a quick look for Roshan, and they're good to go. Someone's going to go in there and check it. But they might just consider taking the tier 1 tower in the mid. Jakiro is down, why not? Solo doesn't have mass Serpent Wards, and their attack onto the tower isn't really that great. I think they're also giving some respect to the DK. They knew he had a lot of money, so they're just holding off. Should also note too that DK is now walking around with a Hyperstone, so I assume his plate mail. Did he sell his plate mail? I think he sold his plate mail. Huh? He sold his plate mail. Must mean God switched up his build, so he was going to go into Assault Cuirass. He could have technically held on to the plate mail, but the fact that he did sell it, I guess that's the only way he's still going to have 1900 gold. So, because he sold it, this has to be a Mjolnir that he's building into, and realizing that armor, like, advantage isn't the way to win this, it's damage. Ooh, they see a lot there. They see a lot. They see Yol. And they want him. They got him. Plasma field damage. Always want to fly with the Midnight Pulse. Cuts it off. There's a relocate coming in, but Silence already triggered the BKB, and the cooldown is keeping Cedoy away. Gets hit on the second rocket down, but Resolution starts stealing the damage. God's BKB form now going to wear off. And San can look to attack directly into him now with the plasma field damage. They need the sticky napalms onto him. Ice Path, while the shackles from Solo. And look at the ward positioning into the black hole. Oh, it's beautiful. It's wonderful from Always Wanna Fly. God will stand its ground. He's trying to get as much splash damage as possible with the Breeze Fire. He almost had enough to get through both Silent as well as the Bat Rider. But almost enough is not enough, and they kept fighting on top of the Mass Serpent Ward. Solo's positioning was perfect in that fight, and Always Wanna Fly. Man, he's like a pavlova, drenched with glorious fruit and passion fruit cream. That was a cake to be eaten. And Empire, they had their fill. They'll go in, they'll take out Roshan. Gives them an Aegis Immortal, even more advantage coming into this engagement. They have a, well, no, that's still their own gem. The 16-14, huge experience swing, huge gold swing, and insurance coming into the lineup. Silent also with the death of Roshan now will have enough to finish up his full Monkey King bar. Resolution is going to be a little bit short.
Roshan has fallen.
He's going to sell bottle. Yeah, he's going to sell bottle and take the Aegis the Immortal. But he's now just short by 800 or so gold from his Aghanim Scepter. That couldn't have got any worse for virtus.pro. Full BKB for Always Wanna Fly. Solo bought himself a 4-star, a Blink Dagger, and Arcane Boots to celebrate the victory. A whole new set of awards. And Mag, what did he get himself? Well, he got himself an Ogre Club, so yay! He has Blink Dagger 4-star for Tranquils. For a guy who's only got 1 kill as a Batrider, that's okay. And what's VP really got an answer? Not a lot to really write home about. Like, their BKB for the Bane. He didn't go the Blink Dagger after all. Thought he could finish the BKB, but the fight never really went the way he was searching for. And the Assault Cuirass is actually now still... Hell, maybe I missed... No, he's definitely bought a whole new plate mail. Nahaz, am I tripping, Nahaz? Am I tripping? Did he actually sell his plate mail and has now repurchased his plate mail? Because I didn't see it on the courier, I didn't see it on the ground. And his money looks like he's actually had to buy a whole new plate mail and farm again. Now, bottom lane's going to be pushed out. And I think VP realized this. They just need rack to vanish. They can't just let these fights go the way they were before. And now, Always Wanna Fly, Malvis under God. They got the last 2 as well. He never got the BKB off. They need him dead right now and relocate safe. Drags back God, and now Solo. He wanted to catch him up with the Mass Serpent Wards from the high ground, and then just pincer them in, and that could actually be a game-winning kill right there. They'll come up towards the high ground. BKB's Mass Galore. There's no Black Hole Valve with a call down, not to mention the physical DPS coming out from Silent. He's still trying to kill Always Wanna Fly, but not close enough. 18 life points. It's a double kill for Silent. They may just call GG then, because that was virtus.pro going, and we just need a breach base. And Empire just fought that without any abilities from a Shadow Shaman. They lost him from the very, very get-go. The cooldown was like the only other control mechanism, because even Lasso was actually on cooldown then, I think. No, they used it at the start. That was when they put him in. So they used Eye of the Storm, Midnight Pulse, and cooldown with their only AoE controlling mechanisms. That right there sends a clear message to virtus.pro.
Tower is under attack.
This is, okay. I'm not going to have the same surprise I had in game number 1. Team Empire, they've got this game firmly by the balls. The mid-tier 2 tower gets to fall. Gyro takes more money from that. He already had 2.4k gold. Like, Silent just sat back, triggering flat cannon charges, and everyone's like, well, I got BKB, but, oh, damn it, that's physical damage on flat cannon. Grah! He just keeps farming up again. With 2.5k gold, he might just go into an Eagle Song. He could also potentially just pick up another Demon Edge. So now Dragon Knight, he does have that full Assault Cuirass up. Yeah, so if it was Maelstrom, then God would be looking more at, I would say not even split pushing. It would have been just forcing the lanes a little bit quicker. But the Assault Cuirass is meant to be for breaching towers, breaching bases. You have the negative armor over on the enemy as well as their buildings, and your team is looking better. It's like your cheap version. I say your cheap version of Weave. It's your consistent version of Weave, but just not as powerful. Solo, cheeky devil again. Are they coming up to check for? Wait, what are they doing? They see Mag. Mag's dewarding at the moment, as long as he can stop hitting uphill. So they're coming up to try and find Empire, but Empire is currently in like 5 different positions across the tree line at the bottom. Yeah, okay, so he sold his drums to get the extra money. Yeah, he did it to finish the full Assault Cuirass. They wanted it for this fight. Like, their goal is to have the AC up. He sold his drums, but that was before the Hyperzone pickup. Now Mag, he sees God. Jottam, he can also see him too, waiting just to save him. And the pings come out, and the call is made. And it's God. He's coming in, he sees Resolution. The run-up comes, but then where's that lasso jump? He actually ran himself away. Now Solo comes in. Mass Urban Wars. They got BTZ locked in the corner. The Phoenix will go on Sun. The Vag back, and he got the BKB off in time. Then the call out of follow-up. 2 heroes on the sideline. God's trying to fight from the tree lines while Seedoy getting assembly body blocked up by Mag and burnt by the Macropire. They'll turn their attention back into the DK. This is meant to be a last-ditch effort. They've lost 4, and GG is the call. Yol is trying to self-deny himself, but Silent will take the triple kill. And Team Empire will take a clear victory here in the D2CL tonight. And that will skyrocket them up. They will go for 5 wins and 1 loss, giving them #1 position in the D2CL competition. Ahead of Team Tinker, who have already played a lot of their games. They've actually played 4 of their series, while Team Empire have just finished up with this one. That was their 3rd. There's only one other team currently that can contest them for first position. Well, that's close to contesting them for first position, and that's Power Rangers, who went 3-1 in their matches. But there will be more games to be coming up. Virtus.pro, Na'Vi, Fnatic, and Cloud9. Fnatic and Cloud9 actually haven't played any of their games yet. VP and Na'Vi have played, well, I say VP. VP now can't actually contest of #1 because they're 1 for 3 now, so they are at the bottom of the run. But Na'Vi is sitting there with a 1-1 record after their first games. They get a lot more games coming up in the future too. So, well, you can stay tuned to this channel, but of course check out joindota.com for all the live streams, which Joindota is pumping out. We have our JD Red stream live right now doing the ESL 1 matches with Tinker versus Crypt, and I'll be taking over for the Alliance versus Moscow 5 game, which is starting in an hour and 10 minutes from now. So I'll be streaming that game out for your viewing pleasure. So hopefully you'll tune in for that one. Of course, you can follow everything I do over at Toby1Dota as well. And that's on Facebook as well as Twitter. Thanks for watching, everyone. VOD's youtube.com/JoinDota, but of course they'll be up first here on Daily Motion, who are the sponsors of the D2CL, right next to Torsero, as well as Dota 2 Lounge are also supporting it, and a whole bunch of other things like HyperX. So shout out to everyone who is supporting Dota 2, supporting esports, and thanks for watching, everyone! We'll see you next time on the live stream.